Hi Capricorn, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your October 2024 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what me in front of us, it's a Celtic crossword as always. And I also pulled the 4 agreements and wisdom of the oracle card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology decks we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have Cancer, and Cancer is actually your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, and contracts. We'll have Mars there for all of October, so definitely makes sense to see that pop up. Alright, so 8th house energy for you guys is actually Leo. Now that area of the zodiac's pretty quiet, but in general, 8th house points to death, rebirth, intimacy, and investments. And well, yeah, I was just mentioning how we'll have Mars in Cancer throughout October, and we see Mars coming up in the dice here too. So yeah, that looks like your relationships and partnerships and contracts could be energized this month for sure. But we'll keep that in mind as we go through the main spread. All right, in the main situation position, we have the King of Swords, Aquarius energy. And challenging that, we have the Page of Pentacles. So I feel like this is saying that, especially when it comes to finances, it seems like a lot of you have figured out something as far as how to best manage that situation. But I feel like with this in the challenge position, this is saying that, okay, even though you figured out what you needed to figure out, you're just not seeing the results of it tangibly yet, right? So, one of those things where, for example, maybe you figured out, oh, here's a new way I could handle my monthly budget, right? And you've made the adjustments, but now it's just a matter of, okay, well, now that I've done it, now it's going to take a while to actually see the results of the new budgeting that you're doing, right? So just one generic way it could play out, but generally that's the idea that I get, is that you figured something out, but it's just a matter of you aren't seeing it play out in the reality just yet. All right, in the foundation position, we have the World. So yeah, to me, it says that this is probably a bigger thing than just a single moment, right? Oh, I just need to save $20 on my cable bill or something like that, right? I feel like it's a bigger, broader lesson that was learned here, and I feel like this is saying that you have successfully learned it. So it's just a matter of time where you'll start to see it play out in reality. All right, in the past position, we have the Four of Swords. So yeah, so to me, this says that ultimately you did go through some kind of a setback that got you to this point, right? So it might have even been in your careers in some way, right? So maybe you got passed up for a promotion or something like that. Or there was a raise that was promised you, but you never got it. Things along those lines there. So it looks like you might have gone through a bit of a rough stretch to get you to this point. But looks like you have healed from that. All right. In the present position, we have the Star, so you have more Aquarius energy here. And like I said, it seems like it's the same theme, right? Where, like I said, it looks like you did go through some kind of a setback at some point, maybe even financially, right? So it's one of those things. So, okay, yes, you've gone through the setback. You've learned what you needed to learn from it. So now it's just a matter of the reality in the outer world playing catch up to what you've learned. Right, and the near future position, we have the Eight of Cups. So yeah, this is Pisces energy here, and it could just be saying that you're just leaving things behind that don't suit you anymore, right? Maybe this is a decision that you might have even made when we had the Pisces full moon during Virgo season. But yeah, looks, especially given that that was an eclipse too. So, so for some of you, even though this is in the near future position, that eclipse just happened a few days ago, so you still might be feeling the effects of that as we move through October too. So yeah, it could just be one of those things where you might have consciously made the decision, like, okay, here's some things I need to leave behind, right? And actually taking action toward that later this month. All right, in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Ten of Pentacles. So yeah, so to me, this says that you have taken the steps that you needed to take to achieve the stability and success and growth that you wanted to achieve. So again, like I said, I feel like it's one of those things where you're gonna even if you're not physically seeing it just yet, it seems like it's inevitable because, like I said, it looks like while there was some kind of a setback, it looks like you went through that and learned from it, and now you're going to see the proof of that in your reality soon, if you haven't already seen it. All right. In the environment position, we have the Five of Pentacles. So yeah, so again, like I said, for some of you, maybe there was truly a setback, and maybe in the moment you're still feeling the effects of that setback, right? We talked about that with the Page of Pentacles, how that pentacle is just out of his reach. So you'll just be saying you still might be feeling the residual effects of whatever the situation and setback was, but it looks like you will be seeing steady improvement as well. This could just be saying that also maybe those in your environment might still be going through a bit of a rough stretch. So maybe you might have bounced back quicker than those around you, around whatever the setback is. So maybe there's an awareness of that as well, right? It's where you're like, okay, I'm doing fairly well here. Maybe those around me aren't doing as well, so you could be trying to figure out how to handle that as well. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Nine of Cups. So yeah, this is Pisces energy here. So yeah, to me this says that most likely you're hoping that the things you have gone through, the things you have learned from, and the adjustments you've made as far as the things you've left behind, you're just hoping that ultimately it will lead you where you want it to. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Eight of Wands. So this is Sagittarius energy here. So I will say, just timeline wise, for some of you, it could just be saying that you might not fully feel like things are really flowing a lot more smoothly until we get into the beginning of Sagittarius season. So instead of the end of October, closer to the end of November. But even if that's the case, I feel like this is saying, again, like I said, I feel like it's a matter of things in your environment playing catch up. So I feel like there's going to be a part of you that knows, like, okay, yep, I locked down the lesson. I know what I need to know around the situation. I'm putting things in place to move forward, right? And it could just be, like I said, maybe your environment's going to move a little bit slower getting to that point. But you will, I feel like, at least see some evidence that it's moving in that direction this month. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Wands. So yeah, and this could just be saying that most likely because you are in a good position right now, you might feel like people are asking a lot of you at this time, right? So it could just be one of those things too, where you're like, okay, even though I understand that maybe people are going through a bit of a rough stretch here, and maybe I too was going through that not too long ago, you might be like, okay, but I have to be realistic about this here, right? Or for some of you, maybe you realize that might have been what caused you to fall back into a setback to begin with, right? Maybe because you were given so much to others, it might have depleted you eventually. So if that's the case, again, like I said, it looks like you've learned whatever lesson you needed to learn when it comes to that anyway. All right, from the four agreements, we have be impeccable with your word, and it says become a white magician. Let's see if I can get a sense of who this. There we go. It says all the magic you possess is based on your word, and you cast spells all the time with your opinions. You can either put a spell on someone with your word, or you can release someone from a spell. See, interesting message there. Yeah, I feel like this is saying that, maybe there could have even been some doubt cast on yourselves, right? Or maybe for some of you, this was a more of an external thing. But either way, I could see where this is saying, that maybe there were some limitations placed on yourself, right? So, and now it looks like I said, it looks like ultimately, whatever that was, it looks like you learned from it in the process. And now because of that, you're going to start to see improvements in your external environment. All right, and from the Wisdom Oracle, we have to be fair. There's the artwork, and the number is 38. So, see the scales there almost makes you think of Libra symbolism, and of course, we'll be in a Libra season, so seems to fit that theme well. But we'll see what the actual messages say. All right, so essential meanings says balance, justice, a need to consider options, mutual benefit, the law of cause and effect. The oracle's message: life offers experiences that are challenging and experiences that are nourishing, yet over time they strike a balance. You move from being from stasis to doing, from discovering to loving to letting go to being again. Life is a pendulum swinging between all these states. You will always oscillate back and forth between doing and being. If you are not content with where you are at this moment, remember that all experiences have their place. Accept them without judgment, and you will see how the universe adjusts in perfect balance. You reap what you sow. For every cause, there is an effect. Wondrous things will be revealed now. So yeah, interesting message there, right? Talking about the pendulum swinging, because to me that brings you back to what I was saying as far as, like I said, it does look like you most likely did go through a bit of a rough cycle, and now it looks like you're on the upswing again, right? And it could even just be saying that you might not physically be seeing it yet, but naturally with time you will start to see that. And again, like we said, maybe others of your environment might be going in the opposite direction, right? Maybe they were doing well at one point, and now they could be going through a rough stretch. So it's just a matter of figuring out that balance. All right, the relationship message says, can you find a way to achieve fairness right now? This is a time for listening as well as speaking, for understanding as well as asking to be understood. There is much to be learned, and you will learn it if you remain open and objective, weighing options and considering all sides. Your heart wants to connect to others, so allow for a balanced exchange of ideas and actions. The best kind of relationship is one which there is mutual benefit and each party feels heard, valued, and respected. Be fair to all. So yeah, again, definitely an interesting message there, right? Because if we look at this in a relationship context, right, where, like I said, maybe you're going through a really good time and the person you're with might be going through a rough time, and it's like, okay, well, how do you strike that balance, right? You shouldn't necessarily join them in the misery, but, maybe they could meet you halfway in some way. All right, the prosperity message says, now is the time for even exchanges. Justice will prevail, and you will be treated accordingly. In all your affairs, you will be able to negotiate fair settlements. Mutual gain is the gift to you and your partners and colleagues. This is also a good time to square your finances and take stock of how you're compensated for your work. This card signifies balance, justice, and negotiation, so remember that all things must be fairly recompensed. Keep this as your truth, and so it will be. So yeah, definitely a positive message there, right? So to me, that also says another indicator that maybe if there was an imbalance with a situation where maybe you weren't being compensated the way you should have been, looks like there could be some catch up taking place as far as that goes as well. Like I said, for some of you, maybe it might take more till we get to the start of Sag season for you to really feel like that's happening. But I feel like regardless, you're at least going to be hearing some things that tell you that it's on its way regardless this month. All right, so hopefully that resonated for you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.